It's happened, guys. I turned 30.
These are the moments we live for every day. And I know when we meet we'll have nothing but things to say.
Today's my birthday. It's May the 1st, and my gift to you guys is a bank holiday this Monday. You're welcome. So yesterday I was just sitting there realizing this is the last day of my 20s. I'm gonna be old tomorrow. So I thought, let me let you guys on Instagram ask me any questions that you want. I have already answered all of these questions on Instagram, like with brief answers, but we know that after 24 hours, those answers are gonna disappear. So I thought, let me do a video and it'll be there forever and ever. So I've got my trusty laptop right here and I'm gonna read out some of you guys' questions. I'm gonna pick 30 of them because some were a bit similar to others. So here are the 30 questions. How tall are you? We only ever see your head in videos. Yeah, literally, you only see my head. I am average height. I am 5'4". I think it's more like 5'3" and a bit, but we'll round up. We'll say I'm 5'4", yeah? What are your pet peeves? As I've gotten older, I feel that my tolerance for things has just gone way down. People that chew really loudly, people that are loud. I think I have a thing for noises. I don't like, oh my god, that's one thing. When you're in like a restaurant or at home and someone like drops a fork or a glass or something, like those sharp sounds, I get really frustrated. I don't know why. I could never work in a restaurant. Oh my god, can you imagine the clanging of like cutlery when they, when they dump it in a sink like that? I hate that. Rude people. Please and thank yous are free. Like, it just really shows how some people are brought up. Oh, when you're walking down the road and someone overtakes you and they just walk slower and they don't move to one side. Like, why must you take up the whole pavement? Like, move. Just move. I think it's like, because I'm quite introverted, I'm just like, can everyone just move? Can everyone be quiet? Can everyone just be polite? I think that's what it is. What are pet names that you and your bae call each other? Well, there's actually quite a long list. They all have their reasons, but for him, he would call me Zay. He rarely calls me by my full name, and if he does, something's wrong. Lumpia, because who doesn't love lumpia? Spring roll, browning, sugar dumpling. That's such a Caribbean thing, I think. Lady. Bit weird, right? But he says lady a lot. And for me, if I was calling him, I would call him Azzy bum, bum, turned into plum bum, plum cake. Yeah, those kind of things. I have a thing for bums, really. One thing we do not call each other is baby. I hate that. I think I tried it a couple times and it just did not sit right with me. No. What is the first thing that you want to do when you hit 30? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is go see Avengers. I am late. I am a week late. I don't care. Yeah, that's literally what I'm going to do in the next half an hour. I'm going to the cinema to watch Avengers. So no spoilers, please. Azzy bum's coming. Are you ready for Avengers? I'm ready. I'm ready. I need to know what happens. Do you still allow yourself to wear whatever you want, or do you cover up when you go out? No, I don't cover up. Even now where my arms are very scarred and discoloured because I don't know what's going on, just something weird, I will not cover them up. I think it's pointless to cover up because, girl, you gotta live too. Like, if it's hot, just have your arms out. I think especially nowadays we're getting more aware of skin conditions, and the more that you expose people to your condition, the less shocked they can become. If you're hiding it from people that you know constantly, there's no benefit in that, because you're just hiding who you are. You're stressed that they'll find out. Whereas if you just let it happen, just let it happen. I don't care. Honestly, I used to care when I was a lot younger, like maybe in my teens, my early teens especially, but now I don't have the time to be wrapping up when it's hot outside. And you never know, you may inspire someone else to just be themselves too. Because that's what you guys all tell me, like, I could never go out in this. Like, you give me hope and you inspire me to go out, and I'm like, inspire you for what? Girl, if it's hot, put some shorts on. Like, just do it. The worst that anyone's gonna do is point, stare. But do you know them? They're probably a stranger. You're never gonna see them again. and it says more about them than it does about you. You can't control this, it's not your fault. Oh, same question, similar. Any advice on confidence with eczema? Just understand you're not the only one out there with it. Most people have something that they feel like they need to hide, and sometimes it's quite refreshing to see someone just go about their day and not stress over something that's so visible to others. When I was younger, if I was meeting new people and say it was summer and I had my arms out and I've got all these scars, I literally just try and look them in the eye, which I find very hard to do because I'm introverted, but look them in the eye and just talk. And if I see their eyes darting back and forth to my arms or my skin or whatever, just keep talking. Because you can look at that all day, it's still gonna be there. There's more to you than just your skin. I mean, with me, I could talk about my skin all day, but I have more to offer than to be stared at, basically. It's not about embracing it, it's just not letting it control every part of your life and thinking that everyone's looking at you. Yeah, they probably are, but they're gonna be looking at someone else and they're probably hoping that you're not looking at them for some other reason. You know, we're all the same, we're all human. And if anyone makes fun of you, I don't know, I've never really confronted someone about my skin. I've kind of always wanted to say something like that, like, my skin may not be attractive or it may be ugly because I have eczema. But what's the excuse for your attitude? I'll wait. What did you wear during healing? Like my eczema arms, should I wear loose or tight tops? There is no rule about eczema that you have to wear a certain colour or a cut or a material or how tight or loose something is. Everyone is different. I prefer to wear tight clothes because I feel like when they're loose, they're rubbing, they're moving along your skin, and that can cause like tickly sensation. So I tend to wear tight clothes. It stops me from scratching because I can't get under it to scratch. If I want to scratch, I have to scratch through the clothes, but it's up to you. I would say whatever makes you feel comfortable, wear that. If that means you want to wear short sleeves because you want to give your skin air and you feel better when there's air on your skin rather than being constricted, then wear a short sleeve. If you feel too conscious to have your arms out and you feel better in long sleeve, then wear long sleeve. Whatever you want. I wore whatever I wanted. The majority of my withdrawal happened in the winter, so there was a lot of jumpers and scarves and stuff like that. I would use it to my advantage. If my neck was feeling bad, I'd wear a scarf. But if throughout the day the scarf irritated my neck, I would take it off. Just do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Which foundation do you recommend for dry skin? For me, I've been using NARS Sheer Glow for years. Maybe like 5-6 years. Probably longer than that, to be honest. It used to be MAC Studio Fix, but that stuff is orange. I look like an Oompa Loompa in that stuff. So I moved over to NARS, which had a lot more like natural colouring. And I think my face looks like a good colour now. I hope so. I use NARS Sheer Glow because it's not a completely matte finish. Throughout the day, I have dry skin, but throughout the day, if I touch my face, there's a little bit of moisture there. It's nice. And I think you guys can see, like, there's a bit of a glow in my skin. It's not completely matte. And also, I do like the Huda Beauty foundation because it is so thick. So, like, for me, I feel like if I'm trying to cover something on my face, like my forehead is still scarred, I think you can still see it, like, just there. But my hair's covering it, so I don't really care. I tend to work in less layers than more. I don't like the whole putting concealer on and then foundation and then like layering on different concealers to cover stuff. If my foundation can cover it in one go, I feel like that's better for me. So the Huda Beauty foundation is really thick and it covers so well, especially like redness. It is a bit more matte than the NARS Sheer Glow, but the colour range is good and the coverage is good. Tell us a life hack for saving monies. Oh, okay. When I graduated from uni, I was working at this Kumon. I don't know if anyone knows what Kumon is, but it's basically tutoring little kids. I think it was like 2 or 3 hours a day, twice a week. So it was really a side job, but there was a period where that was my only income. And how I saved money was, first, I used to walk to work. It was about, I think, 2 miles away. I want to say 2 miles. It can't be 4 miles because that's way too much. Always eating at home before you leave. That's a good way to save money. And I think my top tip is, like, seriously check out eBay. I think some people get the impression that eBay is like dirty and you only get like trampy used things on there, but on a level, you will find some gems on there. Sometimes people buy clothes for like an occasion, just one occasion, and then they wear it once and they want to sell it. So you're getting something at literally half the price that's only been worn once. And let's face it, when you go shopping, sometimes you're buying clothes that have been tried on like tens of times. So I personally don't see the problem. There are obviously some things that I won't buy, but some things that are really good to look for are like trainers that are no longer in stock, or limited edition things, games, stuff like that. I actually have bought a few designer shoes off eBay. The trick is to know exactly what you're looking for. Like if you're trying to buy designer stuff and you don't even know what the originals look like, don't do it, because you're going to get scammed by fakes. eBay is life. Google and eBay. Where is your next holiday destination? So I'm in Europe, which is in the middle of the map, and I've travelled a bit in Europe. Recently gone to the Bahamas, which is to the left of the map. So I think my next destination should be to the right of the map. I really want to go somewhere in Asia. I've been to Philippines like 5 times now, 5 or 6, and I wouldn't mind going back. But at the same time, I feel like I'm missing out on different Asian cultures. Like someone's recommended me Singapore. Obviously there's Bali, Thailand, Japan. What is a must in your life to make you happy? These nails. When I answered this on Instagram, I said it's for beauty and medical purposes, and it's very true. I always get my nails done because of my eczema. With my acrylics on, I cannot damage my skin as badly as I could without them, so that is the main reason why I get acrylics. And secondly, it makes your hands look really nice. Is this long? I mean, I've seen people that have them longer, but to me these are long nails. I mean, I normally get this length, this shape, ballerina shape, coffin shape. It's a win-win situation. I look well put together and I don't damage my skin. What is your greatest fear? I said probably being forgotten. I don't know how to describe it, but just like, can you imagine like being left out or going and no one noticing that you've gone? I find that really sad. Like, it's like you haven't left an impact, or nobody remembers you, or no one will miss you, kind of thing. That's quite morbid, isn't it? I mean, eventually the world will forget about you one day, but I'm saying if something was to happen to me tomorrow, can you just imagine if no one was there to care? Whew, that's heartbreaking. What is the biggest lesson that life has taught you? So the biggest life lesson is trust your gut. I think when you're at home alone with your thoughts and that, you can really process the day and you can tell if something's not right, or if you're feeling funny towards someone or a situation. Sometimes I think that happens and we try to sleep on it and then in the morning push it to the back of our minds like it didn't happen. And what ends up happening is it builds and then something bad happens because you didn't act on it sooner. And I feel that can be applied to a lot of things. It can be your job, it can be friendships, relationships, and I'm not even gonna lie, I could apply that to my skin. It's like I knew something was wrong with my body and my skin, but I just kept putting it off until I took action. So like, trust your gut. I think that's the biggest lesson. And with people as well, if someone like makes you feel uncomfortable or they're just weird around you, just like trust your feelings and just like distance yourself. Yeah, basically. What do you plan on doing to mark leaving your 20s? Now, I don't know if this is like a today thing, like what are you going to do to celebrate your 30th, or is it literally like what are you doing to close that chapter? And honestly, I don't know. I feel like getting a tattoo maybe, or something. My idea was a what do you call it, an hourglass, an egg timer kind of thing, and I think I was thinking of getting it on my hand, like right here, just 2 triangles, one upside down and one the right way up, just to signify time without drawing a clock or something. Just a very simple symbol to represent time, and that time is a healer. Time will always pass, like everything will pass eventually, something like that. Why so pretty? all I can say is you haven't seen me in the mornings. It's not a pretty sight. Basically, it's just like no eyebrows, no makeup, pineapple head. So why so pretty? Because makeup. Because makeup and hair products. Oh. Can you come to New York so we can have a reunion after too many years apart? This was sent in by one of my friends from primary school, and we were like this. Like, it's quite sad because she moved away at secondary school, I think. And it's one of those things where we just like lived our separate lives, you know. We kept in contact a little bit, and then every birthday we message each other, but we live like literally on opposite ends of the ocean, so it's never happened that we go and visit each other. But I do promise to visit America one day. It's gotta happen. It has to happen. And when I go, Charlene, I'll see you there. Someone else also asked me, when are you coming to Los Angeles? I think it'll be the same time that I try to go to New York. I would try and do both. Are they on different sides of America? Either way, it's America, so I would try and do both. It'd be lovely to see you, Jen. Favourite Ghanaian food? Now, I don't know a lot of Ghanaian dishes because, like I said, my dad is Ghanaian and I'm not close to my dad, and he didn't cook very much. So there wasn't much stuff that I was exposed to. However, when he would take me to parties, there were these puff balls. They're made of plantain and they're spicy. It's just literally a ball of flour that tastes sweet and spicy at the same time. I've heard them being called different names, so I've heard them called puff puffs, and I've also heard crack row. But whatever that is, someone make that for me because it's just beautiful, sweet and spicy. And it's finger food. Who doesn't love finger food? What has your 20s taught you? Oh shit. Okay. My 20s have taught me that the only person that you can trust 100% is yourself. And I don't care if we're talking about your kids, your parents, your spouse, your boss, your teacher. No. The only person that you know for definite what is their intention, what is their motive, and their reasoning behind anything they do is yourself. And I think if people learn that early on in life, it will save them a lot of aggro. So many times I've wondered, why did this person do this? Or why didn't they do this? Why would they say this? Why would they do this? And it can drive you mad trying to find reasoning behind someone else's actions. And the point is, you'll never know. You will never know. People can say things, but in their mind they're thinking something else, or they could say things and do something else. So instead of trying to understand it, just realize that you can't. And the only person you can trust is yourself. And in that sense, mold yourself to be the best person that you can be. Like, as long as you're not lying to yourself. And that's another thing in your 20s. A lot of people lie to themselves. They're in denial. They act certain ways, and it's not good on their reputation because it's a front. Don't do that. Just don't do the whole front thing. Trust me. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Have you achieved that eczema detox you were trying to achieve way back? If you're following my journey, the answer is kind of. But at the end of the day, regardless of how bad my skin is now, it's definitely been 10 times worse a couple of months back. And the fact that I am off creams that doctors have told me that I would be on for life, that's a win. Because they were basically telling me I'd be a patient for the rest of my life, and I am now like 500 plus days without that cream. It's a bloody miracle, isn't it? First, congrats for joining the club. Yeah. What are you most looking forward to achieving in your 30s? Definitely having a child. And I think it would mature me very much because I don't feel like an adult right now. Like, mentally, I still feel the same. I don't know what age I feel. I just don't feel 30 because I feel like 30 is such a big number. But definitely having kids, because a lot of my friends now are at that age where they're married and have kids, and I'm like the only one that doesn't have. So I feel like, yeah, little mini me wouldn't be too bad. A basic question: do you have any favourite movies or video games? Yeah, I'm an Xboxer, so Gears of War is a must. If you don't have an Xbox, you can't play Gears of War because it's an exclusive game. So I don't know what you're doing. You need to borrow an Xbox and just play all however many games there are, 5, 4, 6, something like that. Play all of those. Assassin's Creed, yo, that game taught me things, so many things. And when it comes to movies, I do like psychological films that kind of leave you thinking afterwards. I'm not so much a fan of comedies, that's like a quick fix film. I want to be thinking afterwards and maybe watch it again the second time and find out something new. So I think my top 5 films are Black Swan, Mr. Nobody, Pan's Labyrinth, The Fountain, and can't think of a last one. Number 5, what would it be? Ooh, Spirited Away. Love that film. Love that film. I find it quite scary though, don't you? What do you not like in a guy? A lot of things piss me off, to be honest. So cockiness. I hate people that are cocky. I prefer someone quiet, humble. You don't need to be flashing your cash, flashing your dollar. I don't care. I really appreciate nice hands. I really don't like people or guys that bite their nails, because you've got to put those hands on me and I don't like the way they look. I don't like it. But that's basically it. I just don't like cocky guys. Like, the louder you are, the more like turned off I am. I just don't like loud people, let's just be honest. I don't like loud people. Do you miss having straight hair since going curly most of the time? Yes and no. This is my hair in its natural state, so whatever goes on outside, it can't change too much, too drastically. I can cope with it. However, every time I straighten my hair, it decides to rain. And when I straighten my hair and it rains, it doesn't go straight back to this. It goes into some weird poof. It's like a hybrid of straight and curly. It's just not a good look. So having straight hair is more stressful to me than having curly, because I have to watch the elements outside and I can't predict the elements, so it's not that great. But I do get urges all the time to straighten my hair, because sometimes you just want to change, and then sometimes I'll straighten it and then literally 2 days later I'm like, you know what, this is stress trying to keep it straight, and no, I want to go back curly. And I'm lucky that I can do both. I can just literally go have a shower, back to curly again. So yeah, I don't miss it, but sometimes I crave it. What did you do for staph infections during your TSW journey, and did you take any antibiotics? No and no. Wait, that doesn't make sense. The whole journey I didn't experience any infections. I don't know if that's luck, or maybe I got an infection and just didn't do nothing about it and it went away, but I didn't have to deal with anything. I never had to go to the doctors, not at all during my journey. Did you have to take time off during TSW? Yeah, I did. I remember my skin was at its worst right after Christmas, and I worked at a college, so there was like a 2-week break, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse in that 2-week break. And that first day back after the Christmas holidays, I really tried to go into work. I put on my makeup and walked in, and it was just very obvious that my face weren't right. I think I was very swollen. Someone even pointed that out to me. I thought I was hiding it so well, clearly not. And I was in so much pain and discomfort, and just being around people and having to talk to people, I didn't want to look people in the eye, so I got sent home. So I think I spent the rest of that week at home, and then when I went back to work, every now and again there'd be a day where I got no sleep at all, like nothing. I couldn't sleep and wake up just feeling so tired. There were times I would fall asleep at work really bad, and other times where I'd get to work and just be in such a terrible mood that my manager was like, just go home, because she could tell that I was just so irritable, so upset. And I don't know how much time I took off work in total, but I didn't take a block time off work. I asked my manager, can I do that? But she was like, no, you can come into work whenever you feel, and if you need to go home, you can go home. So she was literally a lifesaver in that sense, because TSW is really unpredictable. So I would go in on the days where I could. I was determined to go in, but on days where I couldn't, she understood and just sent me home, or just told me not to come in, basically. Advice for someone trying to survive the 20s. Good luck, girl. Dealing with TSW, trying to get that GPA at uni, thank you. all I can say is focus on your studies. Don't get swayed by people that want to party all the time, because come results day and they failed, you don't want to be that person too. So you have your whole life ahead of you to party and be reckless, I guess. Uni is only 3 or 4 years, so use that time to knuckle down, and then after that, go ham, do what you want. But going to uni with TSW, see, I can't relate with that. That would be hard. I would say try and tell someone about your condition, like a professor or the uni board or something. They need to understand that. What if you're not up to it? Because I know that there are times that you can't move. It's so painful, so you need to let someone know. But surviving the 20s, girl, just ride it out. There is no law, there is no rule for the 20s. I think the 20s are a bit of a roller coaster for most people, because it's like you're trying to find your feet, and then I think the panic mode towards your late 20s, you know. So you'll be fine. If I did it, you can do it. Like, trust me, if I did it, you can do it. Did you notice any emotional shifts after healing? Yes, but I think some of that TSW mood has stuck with me, because like I said, my tolerance for things has gone right down, like way down. I've realized that time is precious and it waits for no one. So yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I just don't put up with a lot of crap now, I think. And when I was going through withdrawal, I was a right bitch. I was terrible. I was just moody, like very, very moody. It's like permanently being on your period. I don't know. I wouldn't say that I was nasty to anyone. No, I was very secluded. I hermited a lot. I didn't respond to many messages. No enthusiasm. I might be a bit snappy. I wasn't rude though. Not like that. I was just very irritable. And everything pissed me off. But now, I think every day that I look in the mirror and see my skin, like, even if it is a bit bad, I just like think back to how bad it was, and it's like a pep for you, because it's like a change, and it's a good change, and so you just appreciate it more. Does your face itch with makeup, and how is your eyeshadow flake free? No, my face doesn't itch when I put on makeup. It did in the early days of TSW, but like I said, once my skin calmed down, it was fine. It was fine with everything, like fine with water, fine with products, it didn't sting anymore, makeup was fine. I've never been allergic to makeup in the first place, so it was bound to just go back to being able to put makeup on. Whenever I do videos, I always put on makeup just because, why not? And I end up putting a little bit more than I would normally when I go out, and I never get any problems. And as for my eyelids, I never had flaky eczema on my eyelids anyway. The places where I was flaking was more like here, definitely right there. So my eyeshadow is flake free because my eyelids are flake free also. I just suggest if you want to put on makeup, you need to exfoliate beforehand with like a towel, a washcloth, is that what you guys call it? A face towel, and find a good moisturizer, something greasy. That works for me, because if you end up getting dry throughout the day because you've used something so greasy, it should last. That's my theory behind it anyway. Are you feeling more excited or nervous about being 30? Girl, I'm terrified. I'm literally terrified, because I feel like by 30, well, you should have some milestones under your belt. I don't have any. And I think the pressure is setting in now, especially being a female. Typical. People are very eager to ask, so what's next? You know, when are you gonna get married, have a baby, all these things. I don't think men get the same pressures, not as much. And obviously the woman is the one that's got to carry the kid, so you need to be in good health, hence why they prefer you to have kids younger, not too young, but younger. And yeah, I'm just nervous because I just don't feel like a an adult yet. Does anyone get like that? I know I am an adult and I know I do adult things, but sometimes thinking of the grand scheme of life is quite terrifying, you know, like raising a child. That's scary, because what if you raise them up to be a weirdo and then they go out in the world and do something weird and wrong? That's a big responsibility. So that's what I find terrifying, but also I'm looking forward to it. I've tried changing my diet, but it's been so long and I'm not seeing any results with my eczema. You change your diet, no results. Therefore, your diet is not the problem. That's the only way I can see it. Some people's eczema is not related to their diet. Some people have eczema because of environmental triggers. It's like this. If your allergy, for example, is dust, and in your room you have dust, you can change to any diet that you want, but if there is still dust in your room, you will still have eczema. That is your trigger. If the food is not your trigger, changing it won't make a difference. You need to look at maybe jewelry that you're wearing, or is there dust around you? Is there a certain tree that pollinates around your house or your area that you live in? Is it something that you're using, a product? Maybe there's something in it that you're allergic to, and if you're not seeing improvements, maybe if you took that item out of your routine, you might see improvements. I'm not saying that's what it is, but if you're saying you've done everything with your diet and nothing's happened, maybe it's not the diet. The last question that made me laugh loads is a couple of you were asking me, am I pregnant? Because I posted this picture on my Instagram stories. And no, I'm not. I mean, you literally just saw me in a swimsuit at the Bahamas. I'm not pregnant. It was a baby shower game where we had to stuff balloons up our dresses. Yeah, not pregnant yet. No. And I was just sitting in such a way that it looked pretty realistic, and that is all. So those are some of the questions that you guys asked me. I hope you enjoyed that. And if there's any more questions, leave them down below in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But right now, it is 10 to 7 and I need to go see the Avengers. So I will see you in the next video. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
But those two things never really seemed to excite me.